This is Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by former British champion, Lonsdale belt for keeps, in fact, Ryan Walsh. Ryan, how you doing, mate?
I'm really good, thank you. Hopefully have some good news soon. So yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. I don't know how much you can say, but we're going to talk a bit about the 5v5 this weekend. But you were last in action in December, got a win under your belt. First time we'd seen you in a little while. What does the future hold?
I've got some really exciting news. It just needs to be confirmed, as I keep telling a few friends and family, because I don't want to jinx it. Just got to cross the T's and dot the I's. I think just sign the paperwork. I said yes 10, 12 days ago. It's just a case of now getting this contract and stuff. But I'm really excited. I work hard. I'm always ready, and yeah, I'm just excited. I can't wait to be able to tell my friends, family, yourself, people that yeah, I've got an opportunity and I'm gonna take it.
Now, you obviously can't say who. Can you tell us what weight and if it's for a title?
I think if I start going down that route, Danny, I think people bit. I've had a few friends who then, is it on this bill? Is it on that? I was like, all right, I'm leaving it. Don't want to jinx it, and I don't really want to say too much. But touch wood, I'm gonna get another good opportunity.
Can you give us an idea, though, of what weight your future is at generally? It's obviously not featherweight, and we last saw
Definitely
you
not.
lightweight against Maxi Hughes, and then since then a little bit above super lightweight, but obviously that was a ticking over fight. What sort of weight is your future?
That was also on the day, Danny. I weighed 10 stone free on the day, so for me, my future was going to be in the lightweight division. Whatever I had an aspiration to be the British lightweight champion. I think I was a feather. Liam was a super feather. I believe Liam should have his name on that belt in a sense of he should have been a two-weight British champion, my brother. Bar COVID, I mean, Maxi stepped in and he didn't look back, but Maxi stopped him with a body shot, and Liam's one of the best body shots in this country at that time for sure. So yeah, I feel like I wanted that British lightweight title because I felt we were so close to it. Without COVID, I think we would have got it. But in the future, I'm just open to all offers, any offers. Have gloves, will travel. It's always been the same, Danny. Nothing's changed for me. I got talking on the Bell to Bell podcast with Steve Lillis and John Evans, and told them I'm a bit of a throwback where I wish I would have got to fight 10, 15 times more, and it wasn't because of me. I've been very lucky, touch wood, not had many injuries or illnesses, and there should have been more fights for me. I think I'm a bit good about that, so I ain't got time to not waste opportunities now.
And your brothers, both Michael and Liam, appear to have knocked it on the head now. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You're 38 years old. You don't look it, but you are. What
Yeah,
keeps you going? Why do you keep getting up in the morning, doing the road work, doing the training, looking for these opportunities?
it's a passion. You can't fake that neither. If that ever goes, my passion and my reactions are two things that'll kill me. If I lose the passion to get up, go running, that's it, I'm done. And my reactions, if I all of a sudden start getting hit in the gym, which I haven't done for 20 plus years, 24 years I've been doing this, and I'd rarely take, big legs. Obviously, I've took legs, obviously, but if I started taking them regularly, I'd be like, wait a minute, and I'm not at that point yet. And as far as my brother and Michael are, they're retired until someone calls them out. So, I mean, I was always hoping Liam would get some good domestic fights. I feel like I'm a bit good for Liam because I would love to see Liam and Ricky Burns. Even now, I'd still love to see it because I was lucky enough just before he fought Tank. We went down to his gym and them two had 10 rounds. And as a brother, a boxing fan, and someone people would have loved that fight. And then as far as Michael, well, he's doing a license very soon, and he'll be back to his old ways. Yeah. So and it's Michael again. If someone offered him out, I'm pretty sure he'd say yes. In fact, I know he would. All three of us are very similar.
And you talked about the passion there. I don't want to kind of be too intrusive, but am I right in thinking you don't financially need to box necessarily?
Oh, we all need money, Danny. Especially, I've got 5 kids. Do you know what I mean? I'm very lucky because I'm a man who lives by, some people are that poor, they got his money. I can't say I'm that poor because I've got so much. Danny, I don't know if you know our situation, but we are so, he said, blessed. Yeah. My next door neighbour is my twin brother. Next to that's my mum. I'm looking at my brother's house right now. I could throw a stone to his front that we're together. I tell this a lot of people recently, and I mean it. We are modern Indians. We just live in homes. We ain't got TPs. All our families together, and that's priceless. And as far as financial, Yes, I need more money. Of course I do. When you got 5 kids and it's my teenager, my eldest son, he eats me easy. I've never seen him full. The woman at Tesco today, I've just come back from shopping, and she's like, "Oh, you got a gathering?" I said, "No, I've got 5 kids, and my oldest teenager eats more than me, and he just doesn't stop eating. He's going to be a giant. He's it for our terms. For normal people, he'd just be a normal size, but for a Walsh, he'd be a giant."
How many kids are there between the three of you now?
Oh God, you put me on the spot here. So I've got 5, Liam's got 4, Michael's got 7, but really it should have been 8.
That's
So do the
16.
math there. Yeah. No,
Wow.
17, isn't it? 5, 4, 16. Sorry, yeah. But one of them, unfortunately, Danny, we lost one. But we still count him. We still count John. Still talk about him. So
Do any of them, have they shown an interest in boxing as yet?
yes.
Yeah.
2 of them, Liam's eldest and Michael's eldest, are flying. They're already both into double figures in the amateurs, really progressing well, and I love watching them. I've not been as hands on. Obviously, I'm still doing my thing, but Liam and Michael have been up and down the country, and I salute them, and I hope they appreciate them, the dads, because they're not at a local club neither. They started at local clubs, and then he's took them to Longs. I don't know if you know of Essex.
Yeah.
And he's had a really good success. He had really good success this year in the schoolboys. I think he had 4 finalists, 4 winners, or 4 finalists, 3 winners. And Billy Long, salute him. He's doing really well with my brothers and the kids. And yeah, I'm excited for him. You know, the amateur game's tough. They've already experienced the old amateur loss where you know you've won, everyone knows you've won. You know that horribleness of it. But it's good for him. And I'm reading a Conor McGregor book at the minute, and he had a great motto at his gym, Kavanagh. He said, "We win or we learn," and that's what I keep saying to the boys. You win or you learn, especially in the amateurs. In the pros, it's a bit different because you lose financially. You lose if you lose in the pros, you lose financially. You can already start. They devalue so much in the professional game; it's phenomenal. Whereas in the amateur, if you're a top amateur, you're a top amateur. If you lose to another top amateur, you still got a chance of England selection, GB, blah blah blah. In the pros, you lose and you get set back in a way that you wouldn't believe, and you saw devalued it. Yeah, it's just a different game.
I mean, given the two most important things in your life, correct me if I'm wrong, are family and boxing, how much does it mean to you that this legacy is going to continue?
Well, I never wanted to put any pressure on. I'm very happy because even my eldest and my second have both had a skill bout and an amateur bout. I kind of wanted that. They need to have that feeling. You want to try and breed men. There is no better sport that I've found and seen that'll help because you do it. It's all on you. As much as no one can want it for you. So I don't want it for any of my sons. And I class them all as my sons. So does Michael and so does Liam. You know, biologically, technically, they're my nephews. No, they're my sons. So I want them to all mainly be happy. But I know that where they can be happy is getting self-respect, self-confidence, and all the things that boxing breeds. You're forced to look in the mirror at yourself. You're not looking at anyone else to do shadow boxing. That's where it starts. So I think in this age of the mental health crisis we have, especially in young men, especially in young men and old men, because the statistic I heard about men killing themselves between 80 and 40 blew me away. I was in Tenerife 5 years ago. Biggest killer of men between 18 and 40 is suicide, and I just couldn't believe it. So we need more men taking young men to the gyms so they can healthy body, healthy mind is what my dad taught us. And there's nowhere to get a healthier body than going into a boxing gym.
Now, you and your brothers always trained together, sparred together from a very young age. And when you were all signed to Queensbury, you were often fighting on the same bill as well. Does that help you to relate to this 5 versus 5 concept, this kind of team against team? Because you were always kind of part of a team.
100%. But the difference is their team is forced and brought. Our team was blood.
Yeah.
You know, I proudly wear family super at Omlin, which means family over everything on my back. And it means something like when Liam won, I won. I've been a double British champion. When Liam won the super feather, I was happier for him winning his British. You can watch the video. Anyone watching this, watch my reaction. I've got 2 pictures. One when I won my British title, one when Liam won his. And Michael's reaction in both is exactly the same. Mine and Liam's reaction it's phenomenal. You wouldn't believe, because that's what it meant to us. Michael's a 2-time British champion. Everything I've done, everything I am, I owe wholly to my 2 brothers. And I can't thank my trainer, Graham Everett, and my Tenerife trainer, Manuel Provedano, enough, because you need them men. I found the 2 perfect men for me. They are absolutely all in on boxing. You've got Manuel in Tenerife. He's there 9 till 9, 6 days a week. G-Man's never out. He's 7 days a week. Maybe not 9 till 9, but Them guys are all in on boxing, and they love it. I love them, and I've been so lucky that I've found them people. I do think you gravitate towards the people that are best fit, and I've been with Graham from dot one. I'll be with Graham to the end. And Manuel was a brilliant little side bit when we was actually abroad training. He was like the Spanish Graham. It was brilliant.
I'm sure he'd love to be referred to as the Spanish Graham. We'll have
Well,
to
I
call
love them
Graham
both
the
at the
English
same time.
now.
Yeah, that's it.
Talking of the 5 versus 5, one of the matches is slated for your old stomping ground featherweight. I imagine you must be the longest reigning British featherweight champion of the modern era. I haven't looked into it, but you don't get long reigns like yours anymore. You've got a British fighter in Nick Ball, very aggressive, very tenacious, determined. Do you see a bit of Ryan Walsh in him?
A little bit. Maybe it's the stature. He's I really rate him. I think sometimes because he throws these what look to be wild, he has to. He's only got little frame, little hands. He's overlooked the intelligence. I really rate Paul Stevenson, the Red Triangle Gym, and I think he's representing him very, very well. And I'm excited for that fight. I'm a bit biased because I want him to win. He's the English lad. I like his style. He's exciting. I think he should be a world champion. This should be a title unification fight. This shouldn't be, because he definitely beat the Mexican on my card for what that's worth.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because you've had decisions go against you that perhaps you deserve to win in your career. How difficult is it to channel that into the next fight rather than let it get you down or plant seeds of doubt in your mind?
Well, this is the thing that I'm giving in the edge in this fight for. You've had this so horrible dream robbed from you in a way that you don't think you're going to get that opportunity so quick. So, and he's got it so quick. So anything he's holding on about that, he's going to take out in this next fight. He's been lucky because you win or you learn, right? He's been robbed, so he's learned something in that bit, and I'm sure we're going to see a better Nick Ball because that's what you do at that age. He's only 24, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Your progression all around is like this, and he's got that progression. This is that next step because the Mexican it's longer and things like that. But with Rare Forge, you don't get bad Americans and American world champions. The things are continental on its own, isn't it? Really, North America, America. It's a huge. If you're the best in America, you're the best in like hundreds of millions of people. So it's a big task, and it'll be a different type of task. But I am very, very confident that if Nick Ball, Paul Stevenson get the tactics right, attack the body, because this guy, I watched him last fight, so that's it. He won the world title. He's only said about this is a complete money business move. He can lose, but if he does lose, the way I expect him to lose, it'll be due to horrendous pressure and real good body shots, because that's what I'd be doing. If I was fighting Ford, I'm thinking, right, he's just a super feather in the making. He's doing this because he should do it financially. The money's brilliant. But really, does he want it as much as me? And sometimes when you get fights, you cannot overestimate how much value is the will. This will be a will fight. Who wills the win? I think because he's going to try and outbox him. He's big, he's long, he's a good American, but I think it's a hard night work to try and outbox Nick Ball. Nick Ball can really do a bit. I really rate him. He's exciting.
And you said about Ray Fall's last fight, of course, pulled it off right at the end against Kolmatov to win that world title.
Yeah.
But was struggling for large periods or long periods in that fight. What does Ray Fall do well, and where do you think his vulnerabilities are?
Well, the thing that he was struggling for, Danny, which became clear as soon as he won the title and he's pulled it out of the hat, is the weight. So his vulnerability is he's too big for the weight. That's what it seems like to me. Because I looked at him and I'm looking at featherweights through my eyes. I'm like, that's a lightweight in disguise. And I've seen it with Selby. The second Selby finished featherweight, he skipped super feather, and that could be Ford as well.
Well, so did you.
Yeah, and true, I held on as long as I physically could. And again, financially, I was committed to the contract. I could have done with it in June. I was perfect ready in September. No excuses. I mean, I never had I don't want to use the UFC term because it annoys me, the weight cut. I made weight as good as I ever have in September. And then when I had to make it again, it's very, very. I knew it. That was it. Even winning that, I'd have got myself into a world title shot and I wouldn't even be able to probably make the weight. So I was more happy for Jazza, who was just coming up that weight, super bantam. he's beat a world champion in Lee Wood. I'm a big fan of Jazza, and he's ex-Red Triangle. Shockingly, you know,
Of course,
they
yeah.
produce some really good fighters there. Paul Stevens should, yeah, I hope he gets his acknowledgement over time, and hopefully through his fighter, he will get it. Through Nick Ball, he'll get the props that I think he would have got with Jazza anyway. And I still give him the props for Jazza. I think he's done really well.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some others coming through. I know they've had a few stumbles along the path in Brad Strand and Andrew Kane and so on, but still talented fighters, still quite young as well. But just on Rayford, what are the dangers to Nick Ball in this fight? You know, we know that there's issues with the weight and so on, but what does Nick Ball need to watch out for?
Well, you just don't seem to get a bad American fighter, especially American world champion. He's very long, he's clever, and look, if you can pull it out in the 12th round, you can pull it out in any round. That's the hardest round to pull it out. The other guy knows, I've only got 3 minutes, and he did. He pulled it out. So I do think you've got to go to his body early. I think that's the key to this fight. I think Nick Ball do Nick Ball, but just add a little bit more body shots in, because whatever he does and how he does the weight is massive to this fight. And he, in his mind and verbally, even said out loud, "I'm done. I'm going up a weight." So he's literally coming back down, and yeah, he's advantage. He's a good boxer. He's a good boxer, but Nick Ball brings pressure that he's probably not seen before, and I think punching down is an actual advantage to Nick Ball. No one wants to punch down. We're all trying to punch at eye line, or he's sometimes from my career punching up, but it's very rare for me to punch down. This guy's going to be punching down, and I think Nick Ball could be lethal.
With that in mind, because Rayford knows that almost certainly he's going to be going up in weight after this fight, when things get tough, when it's the late stage of the fight, when he's under pressure, does that enter his mind, do you think, as a fighter?
He's got experience now, and like I was saying, Rayford's quite young as well, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
not old, is he?
No, he's
Do
in
we
his
know his
20s.
age? 20s
I'd have
again.
to double check,
Well,
but he's in his 20s.
all I know, this is another thing. Nick Ball won't be fighting the fight who's just won that world title. He should be fighting someone who's finally got his own. This is a psychological thing. Like, the title's just a title, but it means something to the fighter because he's forever that champion. He will forever be that. So he should actually be a better fighter and pushing up. The only, like I said, just the weight, that's the thing. But how he reacts to that. But as a fighter, he's now got that 12-round experience in a world title fight. So he's going to be. So's Nick as well, though. They're both coming off 12-rounders. I know he got the stoppage. So they're both going to be better fighters than the last fight. So it's going to be a really good matchup. I think the whole 5v5, I'm a big fan of it. Really looking forward to watching it all. And it's just nice to see a card where anyone could kind of win, even though you have your slight favourites and some, like, it's just a really good. I'm a big advocate for it, and then roll on with the Saudis. Keep playing this money into boxing. Keep giving us these fight cards.
Well, let's get some predictions then before I let you go. You've got the main fight that we've talked about, Nick Ball, Rayford. You obviously think Nick's going to pull it off. Is he going to win by
I think.
stoppage, or is he going to go
I
the
think
distance?
I must add it's a very biased prediction. I'm more hoping then, because he's still got a task in his hand. This is a big, strong American world champion who's ready to go up the weight. But I am hoping Nick Ball can pull it out. I'd love to see him stop him. But if he does pull it out, it'll be through a lot of pressure. I'm sure Ford can take a good whack. He's a big lad. So I'd say Nick Ball on points. And you know what? I'd even take Nick Ball controversy on. No, I won't, because I won't like to see a controversy. I hope Nick Ball wins it fair and square, clean. And I'm going to go Nick Ball on points for that one.
And let's go overall. I don't expect you to give me individual predictions for each of the 5 fights, but who do you think comes out on top overall, Eddie or Frank?
Because they've got captains with the 2 points, still mathematically it's possible to get a draw, right?
It is.
And
I think
that's
you
what I
get
think.
double. I think you get 2 points for a stoppage, only 1 point for a decision win as well. So there's
Ah,
loads of
so
permutations as well.
I actually think it's one of them nights. It'll be a draw. There'll be a point either way. It'll be that close, because on paper and from my own views, there's a few anything could happen. I've got a couple of favourites. Like I think Shiraz has been made the captain for
Warren. Yeah.
Warren, and I think I fancy him to get the 2 points there as well. So, but it is a really, really good card. Really good card, and I'm excited for it. I'm going to sit on the fence here and say a draw. But
Well,
I
that's
won't be.
that's a possible result. It's not really sitting on the fence. I mean, it could be a draw. You should bet on a
Yeah, I
draw.
think.
You probably get really good odds.
Yeah. I'm going to say a draw on the points. Then that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, because I think that's best for everybody, in it, in a way. With, yeah, both teams, I know they both want to win it. I've watched a lot of things on it recently. It's really interesting. It's intriguing. I like it. I like the fact that the two biggest promoters this side of the world and in England and in Britain actually collaborating. And that's good for the sport. The more that the Americans could do that with PBC and the others, the more I suppose we'll have it in Europe as well, in the other companies. You've got to get them together. It's best for the fans. The more we get them, the big boys together, the more we can get the fights we want to see. And thanks to the Saudis, or His Excellency, as they call him. Thanks to him. Thanks to him. Because that's it. It's all money talks, You can put enough money on the table, anything can happen.
Great stuff. Ryan, really appreciate it. As soon as your fight's confirmed, please do let me know and we'll get you back on the channel to talk about it in detail.
Brilliant. Thank you. All the best. Cheers, Danny. Thank you for your
And you,
time.
mate. Take care.